I was having a problem with the van. It was giving me some issues with the fuel pump. This van is 1987 and we're in 2022. I went through all the procedures. First, I lifted the van off the floor to give me enough room to lower the gas tank once I had it removed. And it made it a lot easier. I dropped it down slowly, just enough so I can disconnect the lines from the top of the fuel pump. So as you can see, I've been trying to grind off the surface rust on top of this tank. And it has some pitted area, but it's not that bad. Been able to get down to it. Safety first, always wear eye protection, because if this splashes you in the eye, it is not fun, because I had it done to me before, and it's painful. Very painful. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to spray on some edging primer. Okay, I'm all done spraying down the edging primer. I concentrated more on the rusted area where all the heavy rust was at, as you can see. So I'm going to let this dry for about a good 6 to 7 hours. Then I'm going to come back and scuff it. Blow it with the air and wipe it down with alcohol. And then I'm gonna just brush on some exterior black paint. Here are the some of the hoses that I removed from the fuel pump. I cleaned them off just to check them out because after many years, this is a 1987 van. And as we all know, after many years, they tend to crack. But fortunately on this van, it was sprayed with some kind of coating underneath that it protected these hoses, because after I degreased them and took all those coating off, as you can see, when you bend hoses, you will see them cracking after many years. And with these, they were protected with the undercoating. No cracks. So fortunately, I'm able to use them. No cracks. When you have a vehicle very old and you're working on it and it has to have something to do with hoses, always check them and replace them. I'm all done with the tank. I also painted the bottom side. It's all nice and clean. So the pump is all lined up and installed. So all this is ready to go. All right, this is not a how-to video, but I'm gonna give a little information. I mean, I don't recommend doing this by yourself. You can see, it's not healthy. All right, let me show you what I'm doing in here. Okay, as you saw earlier, the first thing I did, I set myself up. Before I lifted the tank and set it down on these 4x4s and 6x6. So now I left a gap on top because I have to connect all the lines. This is what I want to point out. Yeah, the fuel pump comes with all these crazy lines. There's about 3 fuel lines, 2 vacuum lines, and the connection, the electrical connection. So you have to run it through those openings to go across. And up in the corners where the connection is at. So next, what I'm about to do is connect these fuel lines to where they belong. And before I disconnected it, I tagged it with tape. I tagged over here where the first one belongs, because there's 2 of them and I don't want them to be confused. And then you have this other vacuum line, which goes into that connection. Wait a minute, you can't see it. Into this one right there. Touching it right there. I'm leaving that last because first I want to connect these two because they have to be wrenched to be connected. You have to wrench them on. And one thing I want to point out, like before you lower this down, when you want to remove the tank to install a new fuel pump, there is this connection up there. You see it? Right there, there's the connection. There's a bolt there. And before you start lowering the tank to remove it, that has the both lines held up. Remove it, because when you're lowering the tank and you don't remove that bolt, you're gonna bind these lines and you might mess them up. So first remove that bolt right there before you start lowering the tank, and that'll help out. That'll help you out a lot. Then I'm gonna show you the other side. So this is the left side from the rear, where the filter neck is at. There is another line here. This connects to that up there, and this is the last line, the filter neck. Those were just a few tips that I want to mention. I'm all done. I have everything set up now. So this is the moment of truth. So just put the key in the ignition and hopefully this van will start.